Hey everybody. Oh, failure in the green screen there. All right. How's it going? Look, yeah, URA's up, SPY up, wheat up. Let's see, silver. Yeah, Microsoft up. Oh, it looks like Ethereum's down. Nike's up. Bitcoin's down. Intel up. Ethereum Classic up. AMD's up. Crypto.com's coin. That's got to be delayed. That's not the right price. SPY. Anyway, interesting. Let's see. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational and educational only. Maybe a little bit of fun, and not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument or otherwise. I might tell you to sell your wife, sell your kids, sell the husband, sell the car, sell the dog. I don't know. Anyway, if you desire personal financial advice, hire a financial advisor and consult them on your personal matters. So, this was the week for earnings. Of course, we had the FOMC meeting wrap up on Wednesday, causing a bit of a down in the market. We had Twilio last night after the close, PayPal, Coinbase, and Carvana, Starbucks, Cloudflare. Looks like DraftKings this morning, Hershey this morning, Cinemark, Enbridge. I think some energy this morning. We've got more earnings next week. Of course, it's kind of earnings season, but we're kind of past the peak now. We're going to slow down on some of these earnings. There's not hardly a week that goes by in the markets where somebody doesn't report earnings, but we kind of go through this big hurdle, and then we go through a slow period, and I don't have one of those cool graphics for next week yet. During my Echo Trades live yesterday, I was talking about lumber and kind of expecting lumber to come down a little more. So let's pop up S&P 500, see what we're cooking on with today. See what we got here. Now, everybody knows, unless you were under a rock, everybody knows Jerome Powell came out, said it was pretty hawkish. I mean, I had a funny little meme up in Discord that was Jerome Powell's face on a hawk. And, well, he was saying, I might have to raise rates more than I was even saying back in September. Well, the market didn't really like that too much, I guess. I mean, say what you want. I kind of, as we stalled out before we hit the trend line there on the S&P 500 chart, and let's save this one, pop over and look at what I'm talking about. And we came up to this red box on the S&P 500, and we stalled out. I was hoping to get on up there, retest deep into the zone, but we started pulling back before the meeting even happened. The meeting was right there on that little zigzag right there, and then we dropped on out yesterday, and then today we just been parked right above this orange zone. This orange zone will be a typical support box, and imagine that. We've got support. I mean, we've parked here for 2 days now. So what I'm saying, that's kind of like a support zone. And why is it the support zone? Well, it's the 50% retrace of this whole move up, and it's the 618 is kind of the bottom of the box. And that 5618 zone is very typical for a place that gets revisited on the second wave of some sort of move. Now, is this going to be a 3-wave corrective type move, or is this going to be, wave 2 of a bigger 3, 4, 5 new impulsive move? I'm not so sure yet. I've drawn 2 arrows, updated my chart here with 2 arrows. If we go blasting out off of this orange zone, well, the green arrow is probably going to take us out of the top of this zone here. Very well breaking above that, maybe retesting the high up here before we get the next pullback. So that's likely. Equally likely at this moment in time if we break down through this orange box, it's probably going to take us to, since we didn't fully hit this target, we're probably going to go there at the minimum. That's, just down around 3,500. Now, the futures did kind of jump down in there, but SPX itself did not get that far, get quite down that low, since it's a cash index and only trades when the market's open. Now, we may see an extension that takes us on down. I've kind of cleaned up the fib lines just a little bit. These fib lines are based on this move up over here, and they get an extension down, not on this move yet, because I'm not sure. I kind of got the feeling that we're going to see a bounce higher. Now, that bounce higher, like I said, it could take us on up there, but if we go just the kind of move we had before, yeah, look, right there, where I got my green, right around 4,200. So that looks like a plausible thing that might happen here. So I just drew that arrow about that size. Kind of funny how it comes out right at the 1272. You do this stuff long enough and you start drawing your arrows, and you just kind of have a feeling for where those lines are going to be before you even draw them on the chart. Coincidence? I don't know. All right. So I got a couple people with me today. That's cool. How's everybody doing today? What you into? What you found? I, of course, let's pop back over to my perfect setup chart. You know what? Let's look at this one right here. I mentioned this in Discord, and a couple of people are like, what? Square right here. But now some pretty darn good earnings. And it was pretty good, and they're kind of popping today. Now, I have this line up here. We got to break above these prior highs right here, which is also where it found support. We found some resistance here. In this zone, we found support there for a while, several months now. We start breaking up through there again. At the minimum, I can expect a run up to about maybe the roadmap line, maybe a little higher, like right in here. Bottom of the, be the top of the roadmap line, right into that zone. So if we start breaking above this kind of flip line, SNR, I call it SNR line, support resistance flip line. If we start breaking through that, we can see a little rally like this. And I don't like that being green. Let's change that back to blue. Could see something like that. So I've got some alerts set in here. Let me know. This is not the only chart I keep alerts on, but this one, it's funny enough, when this goes off, I hear Wu-Tang Clan going, woo, 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 red alert, red alert. Anyway, I set that up on my phone so that when TradingView hits an alert, the TradingView app on my phone kicks off a Wu-Tang Clan sound clip. Amuses my wife. Although last night during the middle of the night when crypto was hitting alerts, it was not so amusing. Anyway, crypto looking pretty good. Matic. Let's see, pull up the right one. Binance. Look at this puppy. Back here. A couple weeks back in Crypto Power Plays, it's my crypto kind of advisory update service. I go through like 40 charts every week and kind of give market predictions on where the charts are going to go. And it's not just cryptos, it's related stuff. So it's cryptos and adjacent things like mining stocks and even Square, things that are just crypto adjacent. I go through all those charts and, semiconductors, all sorts of little things related to crypto. And, well, on Matic, which is a crypto, it's kind of an altcoin, I was saying on a break above 90, I was going to buy some, which I did when we broke through 90. And my target was like 114. And that's where it kind of consolidated so far for several hours. Consolidated overnight a little bit right in there. It looks like it might be breaking a little higher. So that was the first target there. Now, where might the next target be? Well, I'm going to update that for crypto power plays, but I can give you all a little feel for what might be in store next. Of course, I'm going to have to fix my lines here. So the next big resistance, just based on the whole big pullback, it's way up here, around $1.75, $1.60, it looks like. And we've come up, we've kind of bounced off the roadmap line a few times here. And we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, potential 5. And what that looks like, just right here, come off the low, that takes us up right into this zone right there. I mean, like the minimum is $1.31, and the 1272, really my favorite target, comes out right in the orange zone. So we could be looking at a move right up in this zone on Matic in the next couple days, which is not a huge stretch based on the fact that, I mean, look at that candle right there. That's a massive move up. We are on the log scale. You turn the log scale off a little bit, you know, it's still, it's pretty nice. Anyway, where do you buy Matic? Well, you can buy it on crypto.com, or I think it's on Coinbase. I have mine on crypto.com. Let's see. I can pop up Coinbase real quick and we'll see if it's on there. I do my authentication. Well, there we go. Let's see. Search. Buy. Can we find Matic? Yep, Polygon right there. So you can buy Matic on Coinbase. You can buy it on crypto.com. Hey, I mean, that'd be a nice, going for $1.16 up to $1.60. That's a nice, like 50% gain right there, roughly. Not, I guess it's 45%. Anyway, why? I don't know. I mean, it's just the chart. I mean, that's technical analysis for you. There were quite a few. Raven coin was also hitting some alerts overnight, driving me a little bit crazy. Raven USD, although its little move up was just, since it's down at 3 cents, that was like a 5% move, and it kicked off some of the alerts. I have a percent move alert on that one. And then ETC USD, that one getting a nice move up. Nice little tail here, moving up. That could be a move. Still got to get above the roadmap line to really see some higher prices here. That one's still coming off the effects of, had a little hype coming into the Ethereum proof of stake merge, and then a little bit of disappointment happening when prices didn't go to the moon, I guess. That's Doge USD. Dogecoin here. Still popping. Somebody put on some big name, something, put out an alert that they thought it was going to go to 20 cents. I'm not sold on that. We're finding resistance right here. And what happens on the weekend? Well, crypto kind of starts moving. So if you're not aware, you pop these charts up and come look at them on the weekend. They're moving right along. So anyway, here's the S&P map of the day. Got our big movers. One of the interesting news items I read in Wall Street Journal yesterday was the fact that Meta, Google, and Amazon added together are smaller than Apple. I didn't do the math, and this thing doesn't have the market cap on here, like the Thinkorswim tool does. But it's kind of fascinating to me that it had together three of the fangs. Facebook used to be Facebook, now it's Meta. Apple. Well, Apple's the one that's the biggest, and then Amazon and Google, and Netflix is way over here somewhere, a little teeny tiny thing now. Saw it before I popped this up. Where did you go? There it is, right there. Netflix. See that little bitty guy? Smaller than Disney or Comcast. Kind of funny. Anyway, that's your market for you. Yeah, Apple's bigger than like all of energy, I guess. It's kind of weird. Alrighty, back over to what do we expect coming up next week? Well, big news on Tuesday, right? Election. If you aren't aware, we got the election on Tuesday coming up. And CPI comes out on the 10th. 10th is Thursday. So that could be a market mover. I would be cautious. I've been a little bit scattered here today, but hopping around this afternoon, just kind of looking at what we got cooking. Yeah, see, here's the trend line I was talking about. We've kind of bounced down off of that on this. We're having trouble getting through, and then we had the FOMC announcement, then yesterday, and then today, still hanging out at the 50%. That whole zone right there can be the support zone. And we can see that next leg higher for the S&P, or for the ES, the S&P futures. That move a little bit different, but similar. Right up in the zone, 41.50 to 42.85. That'd be the target if this is part of a three-wave move thing. If it does get the extension to be up to maybe 44 before we see the next pullback. So that's what we have cooking right there. Probably that's kind of my primary expectation. If we just break down at this point, I mean, even this one got a nice kind of swing going before we really petered out up here. This one just, chopped up in here, found resistance at that line, and then what we got next? It is a green candle right now, so ES green for the day, S&P green for the day, SPY green for the day. I don't know. Let's see. VIX has been breaking down, back below 25 for the first time since mid-September. That's a sign we could see some lower prices on VIX. Kind of topped out about the same level. And another interesting chart, if I can find it. That'll pop over here. See if I can even find it. Nope. There we go. This one right here. This is what I was looking for. Let's pull it onto the other screen. Make sure she's updated. So this is S&P 500 stocks above their 50-day moving average. Now, if you've been following me for a little while, I used this back in August to predict we were going to roll over. And then I've kind of talked about it down here that we would see a pop. We saw a pop only up into the 60s. About 60% of the S&P 500 stocks were above their 50-day. I think this is going to go all the way to the top before we see the next rollover. That's just call me crazy. If you zoom out to the even, years and years, we tend to, after hanging out down here at the bottom for any length of time, we tend to shoot right up to the top. Now, back here, let me roll down where you can see the dates. Back here in COVID time, we got right up into the 70s and then pulled back into the 40s before we topped out. That's similar to what we did. We came up just a little shy of that, pulling back into the 40s, and we may see this thing rip on out before we see some chop here. Now this is more typical, this zone in the middle here. That's more typical of what we see just in a normal trending market, where you see kind of get a little overzealous on the upside, and then we pull back a little bit, and then but we keep trending. Hanging out between 80 and 20 and 80 is healthy for the market to trend. Getting in these extremes is where we see reversals, kind of sharp reversals sometimes. So, you want me to pop up Robinhood? We can look at Robinhood real quick. Let's see, HOOD, on the wrong chart here. HOD. You need to minimize that chart so it doesn't grab my mouse again. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice solid uptrend. I own shares, and shame to say my shares are up here around 25, I think. So underwater, selling calls. I was selling puts against it when it was messing around over here, and then it kind of dropped out on me, and I got caught, and just kind of been selling upside calls, waiting on it to get back out of this funk. Looks like it's coming up and testing the roadmap line here on the daily. If we can possibly get up through it, that can be positive. I don't know. I mean, they reported mixed earnings, it looks like. Surprise on the earnings per share, even though it looks like they lost money. They surprised on how much revenue they did not make. I don't know. Super fantastic, right? Coin. Looks like they reported some horrible earnings. Might take a trip down to the target zone. PayPal had some nice earnings too. Got a little dip today though. So it's gonna be the final dip. I don't know. All right. Anything else we want to talk about briefly before we wrap this up for the weekend? Remember, election on Tuesday. Go vote if you're in the U.S. And gosh only knows what's gonna happen. And then CPI on Thursday, that can be a big market mover. We may go down for another revisit of the lows there on all the charts, S&P, Nasdaq, which is not far off the bottom. So this thing really reacted deeply, really pushed deep. That's a deep wave 2. Did not hold the 618. I don't know. That's pretty rough on big tech there. And then Russell, this looks positive for going higher on the Russell. Not even getting as deep as S&P. So small caps continuing to outperform. Kind of fascinating. And yeah, we don't have since I have a free account here, we can't pull up the Russell. Oh well. Yeah, some people were saying that Apple's the market. Well, Apple's a chunk of the market, but it's not the market. I mean, it is a nice big fat piece in here, but there's plenty of other stuff. The entirety of financials is bigger than Apple. That's weird. I started zooming all of a sudden. The entirety of communications is bigger than Apple. Microsoft's in here too, and it's not that much smaller. I mean, Microsoft plus Oracle, Adobe, and the rest of those. Okay. Fortinet, Akamai, F5 Networks or whatever. I'm not sure what the rest of those are, or straight off the top of my head. BRSN, yeah. Add the rest of those to Microsoft, and it's the size of Apple. Roughly. That's kind of funny. All right, well, a green close looks like, so that's positive on the day. Maybe we can get some continuation. We'll see what happens on the reopen on Sunday evening at 6. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Yeah, Netflix is a little baby company these days, rolling over. It might not be so good. Might go revisit the bottom. I was hoping that was going to be positive, but I don't know. That's awful deep today. So, like I said, Nasdaq not looking so hot here. Really a deep retrace. Didn't make a lower low, but that's a deep retrace. Wouldn't take a stretch to get down to this target around 10,300. Of course, I was warning on that when it, couldn't even breach that trend line at all. Whereas ES pushed a little through it, and Russell up here was just, rock starring it up to the roadmap line. Yeah. All right. That's kind of what I got. Natural gas coming back strong. We need to see it get up through this $7 area. Watch out. It may take a rally here. A rally strong here in November. Yeah, good vibes on Monday, we hope. Right. All right. Everybody have a great weekend. Remember, hit me up on Discord if you need something. Comment on one of these videos. I'll try to answer them. And I'll see you guys again soon.